What is up, everybody? How you doing? It's the big dog named Austin. It is week 3 of the NFL season. Last week we had a lot of surprising upsets, a lot of weird games. I definitely chose some wrong. The Saints-Cowboys game. Who would have thought? Who would have thought the Saints would have done that to the Cowboys? A couple other games, I picked the Colts to beat the Packers along with everybody else. I was wrong with that. Let's see if we can do a little bit better this week. Okay, week 3 starts tonight with the Jets and the Patriots. The Jets are home favorites, -6. The Patriots are 1-1. They went to overtime with the Seattle Seahawks last week. They're playing a little bit better than everybody thought they would. The Jets, I think once they start to gel, once Aaron Rodgers starts to come together, I think the New York Jets are going to be solid. Last week, the Jets, they did beat the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, so take that for what it's worth. I'm going to take the New York Jets in this. I think that the Patriots defense, they're playing well, but Aaron Rodgers, I think he has the ability to pick you apart. Give me the Jets in this one. Now, Sunday, 1 o'clock. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little scared as a Colts fan to go up against the Chicago Bears. Now, I don't even know how to pick this game. I almost don't want to pick this game because the last 2 weeks I've picked the Colts. Okay, sure, I've got confidence as a fan, but both both offenses are not good. The Bears defense is better than the Colts defense. The Colts defense is really, really bad. Neither offense can really get it going. The Bears will probably figure out a way to do it. Starting 0-3 as a Colts fan is not ideal. That's the only reason I want to pick the Colts. The Colts are favored by 1 point. I just don't know. I legitimately do not know. I think we can get Caleb Williams into a couple turnover situations. I'm one last time. If the Colts don't win this against the Bears, then I'm probably not going to pick the Colts to win the rest of the season until proven otherwise. But with this game right here, give me the Colts. Going on down the list, the Chargers travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Wow, this is a good game. 2-0, both of these teams. Harbaugh's got the Chargers. He's got them going. Got them clicking a little bit. Steelers going on the road against Denver, getting it done. 13 points scored in that one, and then 18 points scored in the week before. The Chargers, they dominated the Carolina Panthers. Not really an impressive win. You did what you needed to do. You held them to 3 points while scoring 26 yourself. This is tough. It being in Pittsburgh, I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh. I love that home field advantage. Pittsburgh's favored by 1.5 points. And I really do think Tomlin's got the boys ready to go. Give me Pittsburgh. But it's going to be one of the better games on Sunday. In that 1 o'clock slate, it's going to be one of the better games. The Texans travel to Minnesota. Minnesota surprising a lot of people. They're 2-0. Sam Darnold seems to be playing really well. Last week, the Minnesota Vikings, they defeated the San Francisco 49ers. And that was the first time in 30 years that the San Francisco 49ers had lost in Minnesota. So Minnesota, they got some things rolling. But they're playing the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins. Nico Collins leads the league in receiving yards. Joe Mixon, he only had 25 yards. Look for him to bounce back. I think that this is a good challenge for the Texans. And yeah, give me the Texans in this one. The Philadelphia Eagles, after really they should have won. They should have beaten the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night, but they didn't. Okay, they should have ran the ball, this, that, and the other. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Okay, the fact is that they did not beat the Atlanta Falcons. They are on the road against the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints seem to have something going. Okay, they've had 40-plus points in the last 2 games. They put it to the Dallas Cowboys last week. I'm rolling with the Saints in this one. It's in New Orleans. New Orleans is favored by 2.5. Yeah, definitely. Give me the New Orleans Saints. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after getting a massive win on the road against the Detroit Lions. It came down to the wire, but they got a massive win against them nonetheless. They take on the winless Denver Broncos. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is an easy pick. Baker Mayfield, he's really, really good right now. He's slinging the ball. Give me the Buccaneers. The Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love has been listed as questionable. So, again, you play this game, you don't know who's going to play. I think you trot Malik Willis out there, and Malik Willis revenge game against the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis, he hasn't been great. Let your game plan be what it was last week. Just run the damn ball. Give me the Packers. Yeah, give me the Packers on the road. Tennessee is favorites. They are 1.5-point favorites, but yeah, go ahead and give me the Packers on the road. Next up, we have the New York Giants against the Cleveland Browns. This game sucks. I won't even pay any attention to this game. The Cleveland Browns, I guess. The Giants suck. The Panthers travel to the Raiders. Now, this comes after Bryce Young was benched by, who knows, by the coach. I don't know. David Tepper's worst owner in sports. That's what I wanted just to throw that out there. The Panthers suck. The Raiders, they had a quality win last week. They really, really had a quality win last week. Going on the road against Baltimore and beating Baltimore. This is 2 years in a row for Gardner Minshew taking a team into Baltimore and walking out with a dub. He did it last year with the Colts. And this year, did it with the Raiders. But the Raiders are going to mop the floor with the Panthers. I've got a buddy. Now, I don't want to out him. I don't want to say his name. But I've got a buddy who is a Panthers fan, a lifelong Panthers fan, who is he's like, dude, I'm done. I'm a Colts fan. And he's been slowly creeping towards that for a while. He's been telling me for a while. But Panthers, David Tepper, bro, you're losing fans, man. I'm telling you. You're going to lose this game. You have a legitimate shot of going 0-17. And that can't be good. But yeah, give me the Raiders. The Miami Dolphins taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Miami Dolphins, unfortunately, they are without Tua Tagovailoa. Now stepping in the starting quarterback role, Skylar Thompson. Now, obviously, there's been some talks of maybe signing another quarterback. Who knows? The Dolphins, they did lose 31-10. The Dolphins, they are 1-1. I think without Tua, that's a big loss. You're going into Seattle. Seattle, like I said earlier, had a really tough win against the New England Patriots. In overtime on the road, the Seattle Seahawks are a solid team. They're a solid team. They're 4-point favorites in this one. And go ahead and give me the Seattle Seahawks. The Baltimore Ravens playing the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. This is a tricky situation for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you had two very tough, very close games against the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the league, and against the Las Vegas Raiders, who, middle of the road. You had two very close games. Now, you go into Dallas, who, yes, Dallas got thrashed last week, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be bad this week. As a Ravens fan, you've got to be extremely nervous and extremely on edge that you have the potential, a legitimate shot at starting 0-3. That's really tough, and I think that sense of urgency is in that locker room. You cannot start 0-3 with the Pittsburgh. I picked the Steelers to win. That means the Steelers would go 3-0 and the Ravens would start 0-3. That's a 6-game gap that you've got to make up. This is a massive game for the Baltimore Ravens. It's a must-win. The Baltimore Ravens have to win this game if they want to have you can't to dig yourself out of an 0-3 hole to even make the playoffs is so tough, and especially as competitive as the AFC is. We're already talking about the Ravens missing the playoffs and having to dig themselves out of the hole. The Ravens get it done. I think there's too much urgency that they're going to play with. The Ravens get it done. The Lions at the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are surprising a lot of people, but the Detroit Lions are a really good football team, and I think that they're going to win. The 49ers at the Rams. Of course, the Rams, they're without Cooper Kupp. They're without Puka Nacua. They're banged up. And the 49ers coming off of a loss. They're going to be ready to go. Give me the San Francisco 49ers in this one. And now the Sunday night game. Now, this might be a little better than what people thought it might be going into the season, but the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Patrick Mahomes, 2-0, playing pretty well. Chiefs are actually road favorites. They're 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be a really tough game. The Atlanta Falcons, in prime time, in Philadelphia, they got it done. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's playing a lot better. If Kirk Cousins can be what I thought he could be, at the beginning of the season and what other people thought he could be at the beginning of the season, the Falcons are going to be a good football team. This game in particular, though, it's going to be really tough to win against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you can say what you want to say about the refs helping them out. You got to play the game, okay? You've got to play the game. And the Chiefs have just executed and beaten everybody because they have better coaching, better quarterback, better skilled players. Chiefs are going to win this game, but it's going to be extremely close. But yeah, go ahead and give me the Chiefs in this one. The final game of the week, this game, the Jaguars. They're not great. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're 0-2. Look at that AFC South. The Titans, Colts, and Jaguars. All three of them are 0-2. And then you've got the Texans, who look like a really good football team. They're 2-0. I was really back and forth on the Colts, whether they could win. I'm only picking them pretty much because I'm a Colts fan. I said that the Titans were going to lose. The Bills look like a really good football team right now. The Bills are going to beat the Jaguars. There's a doubleheader on Monday night. The Bills are going to beat the Jaguars. So the Jaguars are going to go 0-3. I picked against the Titans, so the Titans could go 0-3. The Colts could just as easy go 0-3. The Texans could have this division wrapped up in a matter of 3 weeks. Because they could be 3-0. We could all be 0-3, just like the Steelers and the Ravens. Something's got to give here. And it's crazy that all three, I really thought going into the season that the AFC South was going to be one of the better divisions in football. And man, so far I have been way, way wrong. The last game of the week, the Commanders against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, they're also 0-2. They're also supposed to be one of the better teams because Joey B's back. But is Joey B 100%? They had a really solid game against the Kansas City Chiefs and a really back-and-forth game. You could argue that maybe the Bengals should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals looked like a good football team against the Chiefs. They lost. They were close. The Commanders, they're 1-1. They got a good win against, I would say, I guess a good win against the Giants last week. 7 field goals. Couldn't score a touchdown. It's in Cincinnati. It's going to be Cincinnati. Cincinnati Bengals. They're also favored by 7.5. So I think that they get their first win of the season. But this is a crazy, crazy start to the season. You've got so many good football teams, good quality football teams. The Bengals, who you thought were going to be quality football teams, but the Colts have proven otherwise. I don't even want to put them on the list because they're not. They're not good. But the Bengals and the Ravens, more specifically, both those teams starting 0-2 is crazy. And both those teams, you thought both those teams were going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure I had them both in the playoffs. But that's the way the NFL goes. That's why we play the games on Sundays. And and anything can happen at any given time. And man, that's why we watch. But that's all I've got. Those are my week 3 picks. I am so excited for this weekend of football. Like I said, that's all I've got. That's all I've got. That's all I've got for you. Please like and subscribe. Comment. Tell me how trash you think my picks are going to be. Tell me how good you think the picks are going to be. I'm the big dog named Boston. Go Colts.